Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Nova Legends Podcast. I'm going to talk about the recently concluded 2025 Virginia State Tournament. Um, this weekend is finals weekend. It's not really the state tournament, it's just the finals this weekend, the way it's structured. But it was amazing time. I just got back last night from the Group 6 finals and really had enjoyed the day. And we have two great champions, South Lakes and Osborne Park. South Lakes went back to back. Osborne Park girls, their first state basketball championship in the history of the school, which I can't believe. It seems like they're great every year. Amazing team. And also Heritage High School from Leesburg, where I live now. And they had an incredible run to get a title in the first year of Tayler Cook being the head coach there. So congratulations to those guys. Great time. First of all, again, VCU is a great place to watch a game. They were like driving down 95. It's crazy. But once there, easy parking, plenty of great seats. It's perfect size for the kind of crowd we're getting now. We're not getting the huge crowds anymore, but definitely good enough, and it gives you a really good atmosphere for these games. And the organizers did a great job. Food's easy to get to. Just very well done. So I do want to talk about a couple games that happened before I got there. I mentioned Heritage locally from Leesburg. Uh, uh, Tayler Cook was coaching at another Leesburg school, Tuscarora. Came over. She's a young coach. She won a state championship as a player at Spotswood, playing for her dad. I interviewed her this week. If you go listen to her, it was a great interview. I think she was great. Not sure how I was. But anyway, Taylor's played at George Mason University. Just a great coach. Her ability to get her players to share, to believe. I think one thing she showed, they beat Salem from Roanoke area, 46-37. Her ability to create a defense to stop one player is elite. And she takes against Hampton, they had a Division I player in the semis, and against Salem, she'll take a player away from you. She knows how to do that without disrupting the rest of her defense, and it really throws the other team off. So, congrats, Heritage. Also, before I got there, I want to talk about Little Graham High School. Now, I criticized Graham and said they were going to lose by 50 points in the state final to John Marshall. John Marshall, for those who don't know, is one of the best programs in high school basketball to get kids from all over Richmond, but also kids from all over the country come to play in this little school. And John Marshall has a great basketball tradition of players of Ronnie Wade and Pierce Callahan was the coach. Just an amazing tradition. And They have continued that tradition, but their high school schedule, they play in the lowest classifications. So they're not playing teams at the level. I mean, there's no other teams that they play against who are going to have Division I players, and they have many. So it's a little bit of a it's a little bit of a waste of time, the class group two. And generally the teams that play them in the final have to travel from Appalachia because usually it's the smaller schools, and they have a 6 hour ride back after getting beaten by 50 or 60 points. And there's always an uncomfortable press conference where the coach is frustrated about having to do so. And I think there was talk about Graham boycotting this game this year, and a lot of folks wanted them to boycott. Graham is from Bluefield, where my grandmother's from. So I said they were going to lose by 50 or more. I may have said 60. Well, in the fourth quarter, this was a 16-point game. Graham shot 13 for 24 from three-point land. Markel Ray and Shannon DeCibio, shout out to those kids, both leading scorers, I think 26 and 22. They ended up with 81 points. I think that was second or third most scored against Marshall all year. It was Graham's highest scoring game. Those guys, from people telling them they shouldn't come, including me, they put on a performance they'll never forget. Those kids will never forget what they did against a great John Marshall team. So shout out to Little Graham. Now, yesterday I went down and I saw Oaklawn Park. I'm sorry, Osborne Park play, and Osborne Park is in Manassas, and they're coached by the great Chrissy Kelly. I get to see our team for the first time. Um, I'm prone to superlatives. Maybe one of the most talented public school teams I've ever seen. Now, the Madison teams that won four in a row were really well coached and balanced, really good teams. I, I mean, but in terms of talent, I mean, they have Kay Rainey, JL West, Peyton Walters. These girls are incredibly fast. They're so hard to stop off the dribble. I think Kay Rainey's also a decent shooter. One of them only goes to the hole. I don't want to get the names mixed up. They have this girl, Jane Salinas. Not sure if Jane started. I think she did, but she hit two 3-pointers down the stretch. The game was getting close. Hits them like it's nothing. I think Manchester had closed to within three or four. She just put the game away. Manchester, I believe they won the state championship last year. I believe they did. They had Mia Wolf, a great player who played at Georgia. And the year before that, they had lost to Madison in the finals. I was familiar with at least one of their players, a little point guard who was a freshman. Does a great job for them. But this team, they must like practice the Euro step. All these girls are Euro stepping out there. Hard to stop. Good team can shoot. Well coached. So Manchester was a good team, and but Osborne Park just amazing response when they needed so much talent, well coached, well done. They brought a huge crowd down there as because Manchester was the home, in the home area, so they needed it. And uh, what a game! And they're young. Their center, I believe her name is Alex Brown, does graduate. She's good size. She guards perimeter players, so she must be an elite defender. Good luck to wherever she goes. Don't know, but I got a feeling we're going to be hearing about Osborne Park. I know they lost I know they lost narrowly to Virginia Academy this year, who won the state, I think the second level state in private. So I know they had a good team, but this is a really, really incredible team. So anyway, congrats to Osborne and coach. Now let's talk about Woodson. Now, Woodson is a team I probably underrated all year. And part of it was because I saw the first game against South Lakes opening night and they got destroyed. So I guess maybe as Chris Jolly says, we just kind of write teams off sometimes. And wow, they had a tremendous year. They had a very long winning streak during the year. And in the postseason, three huge wins: Hayfield, Westfield, and then Oscar Smith. So they obviously, along with West Potomac, who's always good in the postseason, they obviously belonged in the state tournament. Um, the road win to Oscar Smith is something these kids will never forget. That was not really something that people were calling for, because Oscar Smith seemed unbeatable. And you're playing down there on a long bus ride, convincing win, and they get to the state finals. Well, guess what? I interviewed their great coach, Doug Craig. Congratulations, coach. You did an amazing job with these kids. But he didn't tell me, I interviewed him twice this week, that Noah Limbago, the Occoquan Region Player of the Year, and really the only kid on the team was like a stocky kid. He was in some beef inside. He was on crutches. Now, it did leak out in the morning. I didn't tell anybody, but he didn't play. So that was a blow to them. So anyway, I felt like the gym didn't have that energy in the gym before the game. I mean, when the teams came out, the crowds didn't cheer for them. Never seen that before, guys. Crowds, when your teams come out in the floor, when you're far away, when you're in a state tournament, you're supposed to cheer for them. God, you guys supposed to. Duggan, make sure next time you tell the crowd for South Lakes to cheer when the team comes out. And I know you were just trying to get your seats, but Woodson, you guys got to cheer when your team comes out. Just kidding, Duggan. Great job as DSA of South Lakes. And but anyway, to get back to Woodson, started off Theo Burke, great guard, had a tremendous career going to York College. His dad's a friend of mine, Sean Patrick Burke, the soccer coach. He hits a couple big threes, just played with a hard nose uh, way he always does. And then Ryan Corallo, really tough left-hander, junior coming back next year. Will Taylor, really long post player guards, did a great job guarding everyone throughout the tournament, and had some good shifts on Jordan Scott. Not much you can always do against a guy like Jordan. Those guys, just had good games. Definitely a coming out party for Kalen Chilton. I can't tell you how many texts I got for this young guy. He's a sophomore, great body, can jump. I believe he's left-handed. I'm not sure. He dunks left-handed. I don't know if he shoots left-handed or not. Maybe he shoots right-handed. But he passed the ball really well, has some great, one time he had a wide open three when the player rushed at him, just bullet pass for a layup. Uh, really a coming out party on a statewide stage for him. I'm sure his AAU program gives him that exposure, but wow, this kid is, the future is bright, great body, just the whole package. And he's learned how to play kind of under control. When you're young and you have all those talents, it's hard to know exactly when to use them. But and he certainly used them yesterday when it was needed. Collar there. But I wanted to really point out Colin Morgan. This is a kid. He's about 6'3", long, comes off the bench, kind of reminiscent of Isaiah Vick from Patriot, except for not as tall, and probably doesn't look to shoot outside quite as much. But he's a slasher, finisher. Dude, the first quarter was his. I think he had 9 in the first quarter, maybe 10. Nice dunk. He was really, filling the void uh, left by Noah Limbaga's injury. Of course, he didn't have his energy off the bench, this Colin Morgan, but wow, he had a great first quarter. Then the scary moment, it looked like he broke his leg on the court. It's one of those moments of the gym got quiet, but it was just his shoe kind of folded under him, and it was probably a bad sprain. So we didn't see him for about a quarter or so, halftime, and then he didn't start the third quarter. Well, comes off the bench, finally gets in the game. Nice ovation. Um, First play, jumps over a Woodson player and gets a loose ball. You could tell he was limping, but still all over the floor. Getting in the passing lanes, getting loose balls. Man, this kid, he really went out on a high. I haven't seen much of them. I've not followed Woodson that closely like I should. But Colin Morgan, man, you really did yourself some justice yesterday. What a game! And hats off to you. You're just a warrior. Again, Coach Craig, um, underrated coach. You'd have been a worthy state champion. Proud of the job you did. Great job. So let's move to South Lakes at 24-4 with a 68-60 win over Woodson. They are the back-to-back state champions. Now, Coach Desmond, my friend, he had to make a lot. He had to rebuild his lineup. They lost a lot from last year. We all know this. I've talked about it before, and no one really. And then they had some late migrations to private school in the summer, so he had to, take role players that Toshi Elston, who got serious minutes last year, but Alex Saunders, Mikhail Ramos, um, really stepped up into huge roles. I think we all knew Merrick Realstone, the New Zealand international, plays on the youth. He's in the youth. I think the under 21 or whatever for New Zealand. We knew he was going to be good. That probably didn't surprise us so much, but he just didn't have a huge role last year because he didn't need to have one. Well, he's really rebuilt the lineup around Jordan, of course, but also Merrick. Merrick has definitely established himself as a force of the future. But yesterday the future was now. They had some nervous moments early. Merrick, in particular, probably had a nervous first quarter. I think it's fair to say. You're my boy, Merrick. Uh, Jordan kept him in the game early. He definitely was the one that was relaxed. He's been to these big stages, no problem. Um, and but they kept him in the game, but it was nervous. Even I think with the injury uh, to Morgan, Woodson was severely hampered. Yet they're two of the longest players are out. They look tired on the floor. It's a 94-foot court, and it's nervous energy in the building. You had to feel in that the momentum was going to change. Desmond took him in at halftime. Mike is a great tactician, and maybe he just yelled at him and screamed at him. But they came out ready to play. Jordan takes over games like he did. His 3-pointer was working yesterday, but the way he slithers to the hole. I was talking about the Euro step for the Manchester. Jordan doesn't need Euro steps because his stride is so long, but he uses them anyway. So I mean, from one dribble from the foul line, he can get everywhere. And Woodson is good at bodying players. Will Taylor has his hips body new. They're good defenders, but Jordan's just hard to stop. So I think Woodson did a tremendous job on Jordan, but he still had 32 points, and it's great. Merrick had a run in the third quarter. He's an interesting athlete. He uh he will go through bad patches, but it doesn't affect his confidence. He's like the next one's going in, and he had some slashes to the hole. That he just finishes really surprisingly well, and they're a little bit unorthodox. I don't think you know which arm he's going to finish with, which direction he's going to go. A couple finishes in a row, and then he hit a three on top of that. That was the run that kind of gave them the lead. That was that established the lead. So Jordan kept the team in the game, and I mean he put the team on his back. But Merrick gave him that juice that gave him the lead that they were able to maintain. So great job, guys. You did what you're supposed to do. And then, the team was able to see the game out. I do want to say, Jordan, thanks for playing public school ball. You meant a lot to us. And you deserve two state champions. I know it makes you feel good to lead South Lakes to a state championship, and you did it. So just, amazing career, Jordan, and best of luck at Michigan State, who looks like they could have needed you this week, even though um, that's great. Well, look, guys, this has been a wonderful tournament. I'm sure I'll get on with the coaches and the winners as well. I did want to say, make sure high school sports are important, guys. There's been a DOD directive to stop all spring sports overseas for armed services personnel. Now, they retracted it for some, and they're having some track meets this weekend, but they have not reversed this. You guys, call your congressman if you know people in the armed service, whatever. Make sure you know how important it is sports are to kids, especially kids, people that are on active duty. Let's go. Let these kids play sports. We know how important sports are. We spend a lot of time with it. And guys, if they can go after DOD sports, they can go after any sports. Ours is next. So look, stand up for our sports. We love them. I love them. You love them. Guys, great tournament. Congratulations to all the winners. Congratulations, South Lakes. Congratulations, Heritage. Congratulations, Osborne Park. I'll see you next time.